we have another iconic silhouette that debuted originally in 1985. A sneaker model that is revered by all lovers of sneakers everywhere. Super popular in the market right now. And it's arguably the most popular Jordan shoe right now, the Air Jordan 1. And here we have the Air Jordan 1 Phantom. So the Air Jordan 1 is my favorite sneaker model of all time, and every time a new colorway drops that I can get my hands on, I gotta do a feature on it. Even if I don't even like the colorway, if I don't like the materials used, even if I think it's a shit shoe, I'm bringing it together for you guys. So let's just talk about that real quick. I want to talk about my love for the Air Jordan 1. My love for the Air Jordan 1 stems from the Nike SB Dunk. More closely related to the Nike SB Dunk High. You know, in my skateboarding days, in my youth, you know, when I was a teenager, you know, from the ages of like say 16 to like, I don't know, maybe younger than that, maybe from I'd say maybe 13 all the way to like when I was like 21. My favorite shoes to skate were the Nike SB Dunks. Whether they were SB Dunk lows, SB Dunk mids, or SB Dunk highs, that was my number one shoe to skate, and I love them. I love them so much that when I transitioned to other sneakers and started working in the footwear industry, I started to look really closely at the Air Jordan 1, because the Air Jordan 1 most similarly resembles the Nike SB Dunk High. There's a lot of similarities in the midsole, in the toe box, the tongue, the construction of the shoe. They're almost identical. And if you didn't know, back in the day when Tony Hawk was coming up in the ranks in the sneaker world, one of his favorite shoes to skate was the Air Jordan 1 in the late 80s. He skated quite a few pairs of these, if you didn't know. So my love for this shoe stems from my favorite shoe to skate, and skateboarding was a very big part of my life, you know, when I was a bit younger. So that's where this comes from. And not to mention, it is just a clean shoe and just a dope sneaker model to rock on feet, whether you're rocking them with shorts, rocking them with jeans, rocking them with a sweatsuit. It's sporty, stylish, and you can kind of stylize these with pretty much anything, especially with the wider range of colorways that we've got in the most recent years. Jordan Brand is definitely pumping these out every single month with fresh new colorways, and for the most part, the colorways that they've been dropping have been on point, and I've enjoyed quite a few of them. One thing about this shoe, though, is its popularity. Like I mentioned, it's arguably the most popular Air Jordan style from that line right now. When an Air Jordan 1 comes out at the stores, you see people flocking. Like, the lines are long if they do first come first serve releases, and then sometimes people, you know, get out of hand with, you know, trying to get these shoes, especially on a first come first serve line, because, you know, people tend to skip and then things get a little rowdy. You know, so that's how you know that this shoe's a big deal. Shoes like these are reselling for a pretty penny on the market right now also. So, you know, it just makes the demand for this shoe very, very high. And brands like Nike are seeing that and saying, well, if the demand's going to be high, then the supply can't meet the demand. We got to make these people hungry for this shoe. And this is definitely a shoe that you get your hands on it, you're definitely satisfying that hunger. So I want to talk a bit about the features of this shoe. So the shoe adorns a sail or off-white coloring, kind of throughout the shoe, on a mostly leather upper. But if you can notice, especially when you get the shoe in your hand, the leathers are different depending on the panel. So on the toe box area, the heel, and on this side panel here, it's kind of like a wrinkled leather. It's not a regular generic leather that you see on most Air Jordan 1s. It's kind of more of a crinkled leather. It's not a crinkled or wrinkled leather, whichever would have you. It's definitely not a tumbled leather like we've seen on most Air Jordan 1s, or a generic like smooth one. So those are definitely noticeable differences. But the generic traditional leather that you see on most Air Jordan 1s is present on the front of the toe here. And you also have it here in this middle area, also where the eyelets are at, and also on the top of the heel area where we have the Air Jordan logo. Now, there's no laces, because this is how the Air Jordan 1 comes stock. Okay, it comes unlaced. So this is definitely a shoe that you got to lace up and stylize how you like it. Right out the box, it comes unlaced like that. The laces that it comes with is a stock sail off-white lace that you see here, which is tucked in, and it also comes with 2 lace bags that you see here, with a black colorway here and a phantom red colorway here, so you can switch them up as you like. If I'm copping these, I'm probably changing out the white laces for the phantom red laces to kind of give it some more pop and give the shoe a little bit more character. So now to why they're calling it the Phantom. So the red color that you see here is dubbed the Phantom Red, and the Phantom Red color is present on the heel collar here on a kind of like a felt-like material. It's not a leather, it's not a mesh, it's not like a synthetic kind of texture. It's definitely like a felt material here, and then also right under the Air Jordan logo. That Phantom color is also present throughout the stitching, which is kind of new on an Air Jordan 1. You don't really see the laces different colors other than like a traditional white or black. But on this Air Jordan 1, you have them in a Phantom Red stitching throughout, which kind of is the most noticeable thing on the shoe. When you take it out the box, it's pretty much that the laces that you have are the Phantom Red, as I showed before, and then the stitching is, of course, that same Phantom Red colorway. All right, to kind of make that color pop. You also had that Phantom Red colorway on the pop out swoosh here. It's double layered, so I think that's a nice touch. I like to see this kind of feature on a lot more Air Jordan 1s to kind of give it, like I said, more pop with the color. So take a look at that. And then you also have hints of black throughout in some of the stitching here. You see it on the logo on the tongue, and of course on the traditional Air Jordan 1 logo that you see here on the side, right here on the heel area. You also on the tongue have that kind of stitching, if you look closely, on the sides here, giving it a vintage look, also in black, which I do appreciate. I kind of like, but not a big personal fan of it. And then to finish it off, you've got the midsole and the outsole, which is a off-white, or again that sail colorway throughout the midsole and outsole, which traditionally on an Air Jordan 1 you kind of have the midsole like maybe a white color, and then the base color on the outsole. Not present here on this Air Jordan 1. This Air Jordan 1 just sports a all over off-white or sail colorway throughout the midsole and outsole, giving it that kind of like monochromatic finish on that part of the shoe. So now that we featured the shoe and I've showed you guys how it kind of is put together, um, how does this Air Jordan 1 stack up against other Air Jordan 1s? So let me comment. I wasn't too happy with this Air Jordan 1 myself. And yes, this piece is going to get really opinionated because I'm very critical on the Air Jordan 1. It is my favorite sneaker model of all time. And for this one, not really too pleased on the theme and the kind of colorways that they chose for this. I'm not a big fan of the stitching being a different color. And I'm not a big fan of repetitive kind of setups. Those who are, kind of familiar with the OG metallic colors, where you have the most noticeable white with the metallic OG red on the check here. That came out, I think, in 2017. It re-released. And if you put this shoe side by side with that shoe, they almost look identical. The only differences, of course, is the color placement and the materials used, but they almost look the same. Same red on the collar here, same red here, and the only difference is the whole entire swoosh is red. So, I feel like it's just too close of a color setup to match that one. So I'd like to see something, a little bit different used here. Maybe they could have did the toe box. That phantom red color. Maybe have the front of the toe that phantom red and left this white, or off-white rather. Or maybe they could have did the side panels that color, and tried to do a little something different. That's not what I'm saying is not taking away from the shoe at all. I like the Air Jordan 1 Phantom. It's definitely not a color for me, but it's definitely a summer color that you can definitely throw out. And pop out, because it is a color that's gonna pop with the all white and the phantom red. And I do like me a nice white and red shoe. I'm just not a big fan of the stitching being red. But like I said, I would really like to see this double layered swoosh on a lot more Air Jordan 1s. This is definitely a feature that they've introduced that I actually really do like. So I hope they do that on a lot more colorways coming up. And definitely keep featuring the multiple laces. I know a lot of Air Jordan 1s come with a lot of different lace bags, but I'd like to see this more consistently on a lot more Air Jordan 1s. Some Air Jordan 1s don't come with extra laces, and if they do come with extra laces, it might just be one. But the 2 extra laces is definitely a neat thing to include. And I'm also not a big fan of the wrinkled leather. If they would have did a tumbled leather on this Air Jordan 1, I might have been more inclined to buy it and purchase it for myself as a personal pair. But yeah, I'm not a big fan of that wrinkled leather. I would rather see a tumbled leather where they have the wrinkled. I think it's just a better quality leather, and it'll probably look way better as a shoe if done that way. Another thing is that the shoe is a majority off-white or sail colorway. On the box it says sail black and phantom. I would have rather maybe just keep it white. Just keep it a white color with a white outsole, and then maybe on the outsole do the phantom red on the outsole. But then again, if you put that together, which is probably something Nike designers and Jordan designers tried to do already, and probably had it maybe too similar of a colorway to something that they've already done. So they might have had this finished product come out this way because it's different than what they've already put out. Okay, and they are of good value. Like I said, this shoe is going to be dropping for $160 in the States. It already released internationally for around the same equivalent price on March 16th, although these are going to be dropping March 30th in the States. But I do enjoy this shoe. Comfort-wise, it's It's a pretty good shoe comfort-wise. For me personally, I have a skinny foot and I don't have many foot issues. So this is a shoe that I can wear all day long. A lot of other people can't wear this shoe on an all day everyday basis, whereas I can, especially the models that have the nice tumbled leather on it, because that adds to the comfort, especially for me. But for this kind of shoe, it's kind of got a flat kind of midsole. So when you put your foot on the inside, there's not much arch to it, like you may see on other shoes like New Balances or Asics, or running shoes like Air Maxes. So keep that in mind when buying the shoe if you're thinking about buying it for comfort. For some people, it is a comfortable shoe. For others, maybe not so much. So where does it, in the end result, where does it stack up against other Air Jordan 1s? I'm probably putting this at the bottom of my list. Not at the very, very bottom. Like, it's not in the basement. But it definitely doesn't stack up well against the OG models. It definitely doesn't top any of the models that maybe came out last year, like our Black Toe series, like, say, the Bread Toes, the Pine Greens, or the Court Purples. Like, I have the Pine Greens here, which is probably one of my favorite colorways that dropped last year. I think this one is probably my second favorite, right after the Bread Toe, because the Bread Toe is probably my most worn Air Jordan 1 of recent date. But as you can see, the differences in color setup, and even in design, this is kind of how they look when I lace them up. But even though I've worn these shoes down, as you can see, they're still in pretty good condition, even creased. They just look super dope when, they're worn out. And of course, you can see the differences in the leather. You may not be able to see big differences on cam, but when you see these in person, you can definitely see the differences in leather. The tumbled leather is definitely way better than the wrinkled leather, in my opinion, for sure. And then, of course, traditional colors and traditional setups on Air Jordan 1s are definitely more favored and more popular among the masses than untraditional ones like we have here. However, I think this is a shoe and a colorway of the Air Jordan 1 that's definitely going to hit off pretty well. People are definitely going to regret not buying this one because it's not so hyped up. I think in the summertime, people are going to see these on other people's feet and they're going to be like, damn, I should have copped that pair. Kind of like how I felt about the Black Toes, which is a pair that eludes me still, and then also pairs like the metallic OG Red, which is a pair that I should have purchased, but I definitely didn't get my hands on those either in 2017. So those are definitely missed gems that I'm looking out for. And if you're watching, if you have those in a size 11 and you're looking to get rid of them for a decent price, yo, hit my DMs. I'm just throwing that out there. But honestly, it doesn't stack up well against other models that I've had, especially not OG colorways. So that wraps it up on that. So now, release info on the Air Jordan 1 Phantom. How can you get this shoe? We are going to be holding a raffle at our BX Sports location on Pelham Parkway and White Plains Road on March 28th. All right, the raffle is going to go on for the entirety of the business day from 10 o'clock in the morning to 7:30 at night when we close. And we'll be announcing raffle winners on Friday, March 29th before 5 p.m. Okay, so if you're looking to cop, go visit BX Sports on White Plains Road and Pelham Parkway and sign up for a raffle ticket with our staff there for a chance to win a pair in your size. These are going to be releasing on March 30th. And be available in men's sizes only for the price of $160. Okay, so check us out. BX Sports, Pelham Parkway, White Plains Road. Raffle's going to be going on tomorrow, March 28th. Sign up for a chance to win your pair in your size, and you'll be able to purchase if you win. If you're selected as a winner on Friday the 29th, you'll be able to purchase the next day when they release, March the 30th, for a hot price of $160. All right, definitely hop onto that raffle, guys, because if you don't, you relinquish your chance to win the pair. Don't forget, tomorrow, raffle. And if you guys want more raffle details, make sure you guys are checking out BX Sports NY on Instagram. That's BX Sports NY on IG, where there'll be more raffle details and release information for this Air Jordan here and other future Air Jordan releases. So definitely check them out there. All right, guys. And that is going to wrap it up for the Air Jordan 1 Phantom today, guys. So let's just take one last look at the shoe. I just love this sneaker model so much. Such a stylish Air Jordan that I love this kind of shoe. Like, just looking at the silhouette in itself makes me want to buy it. It makes me want to buy it, to be honest. But I'm going to hold off on this one here. I'm breaking the bank right now. Breaking the bank. I can't buy any more shoes. I can't do it. I can't do it to myself. But this is definitely a sleeper shoe. Like I said, if money grew on trees, these would be coming home with me. So one last look at the Air Jordan 1 Phantom. As we put that down there in the background, I'm going to leave the shoe in the background right there for you guys so we can, talk about it. So remember, raffle March 28th from 10 to 7:30. Sign up for your chance to win the Air Jordan 1 Phantom in your size at BX Sports on Pelham Parkway and White Plains Road. We'll announce the winners the following day, and then you'll be able to purchase your winning pair if you win on March 30th at a designated time. So definitely keep that in mind. Guys, that's going to wrap up today's Sneaker Talk. Guys, make sure you follow me on all the socials for all the latest on the newest Sneaker Talks. On Instagram, at Greater Haste, on Twitter at Greater Haste. Follow me here on Twitch, and also make sure you're keeping up to date on the latest and greatest in footwear and streetwear and apparel at BX Sports. That's Instagram.com/BX Sports NY. Definitely check us out there also. Love how this goes from being a sneaker talk to actually giving us knowledge on differences between other models. I mean, that's what the sneaker talk is about. We're not actually just featuring just one shoe, but actually talking about other sneakers as well, and giving you guys the knowledge and the know-how to make not only the best purchases, but to get into sneakers where maybe you weren't into sneakers before. I'm just trying to spread out the knowledge and, let you guys know where to go for the best information. But yeah, guys, make sure you guys are following the socials. Make sure you guys are following BX Sports NY on Instagram for the latest and greatest. So we're going to close out with that. Remember, guys, stay fly, be good, and do good.